Hello everyone, welcome. It's been a while since I came here to chat with you, open up and sit in front of the camera. It still, as always, feels awkward and it will take me, I guess, a little while to get into it and to feel comfortable. But I really wanted to come here and chat with you and share a few things with you. It's October 8th. It's a very tense day here in Israel today. I guess in many other places in the world. I think we need to make sure my phone is on silent mode. Yeah. But it's October 8th. We all are waiting, glued to the news. I guess here in Israel, as well as in many other places in the world, and many of you, just like me, want to hear about the ceasefire, that it takes place for good, and we all really wait to hear about the hostages are all coming back home to their loved ones. And as I say this sentence, I get, dark skin all over, and I also feel very, very afraid and not so happy to, not so good to speak about it. I just want to keep my fingers crossed that this deal is going to go as planned and nothing will be, I don't know how to say the word in English. Anyways, I guess you understand what I mean. I don't want to talk about something that didn't even yet happened. My heart is full of emotions for the families. I feel like the mother who is waiting for her boy to come back home, like the child, like a family that comes, that feels that wait for their loved ones to be back home. So we all pray that everything goes well. We all pray for the ceasefire to last forever. We all pray for peace in the area. So let's see, maybe we are in the opening of a better era for the world, for our place and for the world. Yeah, I'm very excited speaking about that. Anyways, I woke up to a flood of messages from you. Juan, you heard the news, there is a ceasefire, all the hostages will be back home soon, and you are as excited as I am, as we are here in Israel. I don't want to start and imagine, but it's hard not to think of what will happen here in the streets whenever they are home. In the moment they are home, people will go to the streets shouting, drinking champagnes, dancing in the streets, laughing, all the good things. We want to get released of this unbearable situation. We want to breathe again. We want to live again. So yeah, we could do a lot, a full episode speaking just about the excitement that is going on here. But let's hold our horses, and this is what I'm telling to myself. I want to hold my horses, keep my fingers crossed and pray, please God, make it all happen and make it all, the agreement get as planned. But I really wanted also to open up the camera. Unfortunately, it's a very gloomy and gray morning, and it started with rain, which made me very, very happy because I'm a rain lover, and many good stuff happened in my life in rainy days. And so I feel like I don't have enough light, but this is what I have, so I have a little bit of light up there. And I will work with what I have, and hopefully the picture is bright enough for you to see. But I wanted to come here and share a few things with you today. I'm surrounded with everything that I need, that I wanted to share with you, and with quite good notes for this time that I made for this time. I have knitting and crochet projects that I'm busy with. Lately I have some new sketchbook that I want to show you, and I also want to share what I'm reading, because lately I'm reading quite a lot and I'm very excited about that. Many of you are asking about that. Yeah, and I was happy you asked because I really wanted to share it with you. And I also wanted to update you with something little about my YouTube channel. Yeah, so this is the plan for today. Let's start with, and my number one note. Yeah, I wanted to update you with my the current situation with my knitting. I just took out my Coziest Memories blanket, and I'm very busy with it, and I find again that once again I'm getting very magnetized to this work, as always when I take it out. But during the summer it got, you know, into rest hibernating status, and now it's back again out, and I really enjoy working on it, so I wanted to share it with you. I took some footage for you on the floor, on the living room carpet, because it's starting to get big and it's very hard to show on camera. But I am busy, almost done with row number 16. I am working on a Coziest Memory blanket. It's a pattern, free pattern by Camperay. It's available on Ravelry, and I used the pattern with a few modifications that I shared here in the past. I knit it using fingering 4-ply sock wool, mainly leftovers, you know, minis, leftovers. I used to have a subscription to row 1, which I freezed for the moment because I was traveling a lot and I felt like I don't want to get too much stuff in my life. You know, as always, I'm trying not to get too much stuff in my craft room, which is not easy for a maker. But I'm using all kind of minis and scraps yarn, and I'm also swapping yarns with the Mondays girls, and yeah. So let me show you what I did recently. I was busy knitting row number 16. I have 26 squares. Where is the row I'm making now? Here it is. Yeah, I have 26 squares, and I aim to make my blanket 26 by 20, or maybe, let's see, I'm not sure. Anyways, now I'm on row number 16. I almost finished it, and I found myself adding colors, like more like, I don't know, maybe on the autumny side, on fall side of colors. Not sure about it, but this is what it feels to me. And as I shared many times in the past, I not just knit a full square out of one yarn, which is the same yarn. Very often I split the square and make it using 2 different yarns. So in the middle of the square I'm changing the color, all fingering 4-ply sock wool, and I also incorporated quite a few of these dark brown, beigey, grayy stripes. So it's not really a black and white, but more like a dark brown and a beigey stripe. And sometimes the yarn itself, because it's a fingering 4-ply sock wool, this one, for example, is a printed one, industrial printed color, out of a ball, I think a regia maybe, and so the pattern is made out of the stripe from the yarn. It's not me making it. So this is this square, for example. And once again, I'm sorry for complicating things with my English, but I made quite a lot of work on row number 16 lately, and this is what I think this was the first reason I wanted to open up the camera And I just wanted to share it with you because I think whenever I make progress on this blanket, I feel it feels so satisfying. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more squares to go. Yeah, it's very hard to show on camera, but this is how it looks. And you can see these black and white stripy squares, and not just black and white, all kind of stripy squares are joined into the composition. So this is where I am at with my coziest memories blanket, and I'm sure this moment, the moment I will finish row number 16, will be as happy as frightening, because I really don't want to finish this project. I feel like I want to have it forever, and this is why I don't mind if it doesn't go very fast, and I don't want to say I want it just 26 by 20 rows, because maybe I will feel like I want to continue working on it. But this is where I am at with my coziest memories blanket, and this is the first thing that I wanted to share with you today. Let's move on to the next thing that I wanted to share with you, and what I crochet lately. So, as I shared on my previous vlog, which by the way, thank you so much for watching my previous vlog and for all your lovely comments. Really makes this vlogging and YouTube journey so special, having you here with me. You know, it feels like a community of like online friends, with reading all your comments and everything that you share on the comment section while watching my vlogs makes me feel I'm experiencing such a lovely and exciting journey here on YouTube. Yeah, I hope you have your coffee. I have my second coffee with me here, and we are in Israel, so the sun is out. No more rain, unfortunately. So we've been in a vacation, a lovely, very easy vacation in Greece, a little bit before Rosh Hashanah and a little bit after Rosh Hashanah. So it was a very nice duration, and on the first part, on the major part, we stayed in a very, very beautiful home by the beach with a lovely pool, and we mindfully decided that we want to spend slow days, not too much activities. We were there with my mother-in-law. She's not really used to, she doesn't walk long walks. We didn't want it to be very heavy on her, so we want to keep it light, and we wanted to keep it very relaxing. And as usually, I took some yarns with me and hooks, and maybe I'll show you the bags that I took with me. So yeah, it's starting even to get hot. I want to open the door, but I'm afraid the boys are still on their holiday vacation, so they still sleep. They are still sleeping in their rooms, one here and one there. And I'm afraid they will in any second open the door very loudly. You will hear boof. It will get into the video, so I'm keeping my door closed, but maybe I'll open it just for a while, just to get some fresh air. Yeah, and I cannot open the window here because we live on top of a very busy road. Anyways, I took to Greece, I took with me some yarns, and usually I take a lot of minis, and in this case I took a little bit more than a lot of minis. I just filled it up and fill this bag up with all kind of yarns and also with needles. And as always, I thought I will probably need a pair of socks, because this is what I usually need on vacation, as a travel project, when I don't have any other plans. And I thought I will knit a sock, a pair of socks, or maybe, but I did, in the back of my mind, I did feel that I want to knit flowers. So yeah, and this is, by the way, a bag that I purchased in the UK, in Lake District, in one of the lovely shops where I found there's a cami yarn that I shared with you a few vlogs before that. And this bag is a project bag that Yael, one of the Mondays Club makers, made for us using a lovely pattern fabric. So both of them came with me to Greece. And as I came there, I said, I don't feel like get committed in like diving into sock knitting or any other project. I just felt like knitting flowers, and not just crochet flowers, as I will show you next. But I thought I want to try and knit and crochet. In Hebrew, crochet and knit is the same word, is sriga. This is why I can say knitting for both techniques. So excuse me if I get if I mix them. Anyways, I felt like I really want to crochet flowers, and I was very, very inspired by, you know, the beach vacation that we had. It's often that I'm getting very inspired by the rhythm of the vacation and the colors and the special feeling of the vacation days gets into my creative, inspires me. And so I started to make crochet chamomile and sage flowers following my chamomile and sage pattern, using some minis and scrap yarns that I brought with me. And I started crocheting, and I was so happy with the result. Yesterday I tried to organize them for you, so I put them on this blocking mat and sprayed them a little bit because I wanted to show them to you. But I crochet these flowers using a 2.5, I think, millimeter crochet hook and a 4-ply fingering sock wool, and I got so excited from the result. I really liked how it came out using hand-dyed wool, which is, you know, not my original flowers from my chamomile and sage pattern, made out of Mayak fiber Tibetan cloud mostly, which is a plain color. And in this case, while using the scraps from a hand-dyed wool, gave me such a different result. It gave the flowers so much depth, and I can tell you guys how excited I was, and I said to myself, how come I didn't do it until now? Yeah, so to be honest, I'm just about to share with you the books I'm reading, but I was mostly reading in this vacation, and sketching a little bit, which I will also share with you in a minute. But every time I took my bags and started to make one of those flowers, I was hooked, and I just couldn't leave it. All of these flowers are made following my chamomile and sage pattern, using scraps from fingering sock wool. Most of them are hand dyed, so you can see you don't control the layout of the colors, and this is, I don't know, it gave the flowers something like naturalistic. You say in Hebrew, you say naturalistic, and I couldn't help but also make one flower bud, like, you know, like I have in my chamomile bouquet pattern. I just decided I will continue making flowers. I don't have any like special plans, but the happiness they gave me while making them, I think is enough, is enough to justify just continue making them, even though I don't have any project planned for them. But in the back of my mind, I think I do have a few ideas. I will just continue making more and more of these flowers because they are too beautiful not to continue making them. Here I made like 3 layers of petals, and in the pattern you could do 2 or even more. Once you get the principle of the pattern, you know how it works and you can play with it. So yeah, this is what I knit and crochet lately. I'm very busy making progress on my Coziest Memories blanket, but I also make a flower from time to time, you know, skipping between those two. And actually yesterday I got a new cashmere that I ordered from one of our local shops, Yarns COIL, and I'm planning to make more of my M-Day scarf. So this is not a cashmere one, but I can show you the cashmere one. This one is made of cashmere. This one is made of cashmere. Not sure which, but it's shared on the episode that I made dedicated for the M-Day scarf. But I want to make one more short version, size number 1 of the M-Day scarf. I want to make 2 of them. I ordered 2 colors of the Cashmere Classic by Cardiff. This color is $5.50 and this color is $2.64. And this is a very like deep forest green, which really reminded me the green you see in the Gucci bags and Gucci accessories. So I felt like I will make myself M-Day scarf from this, using I don't know which color for the ruffle, but I will play with it. So this is what I plan next. Yeah, hopefully I will start it in the next few days. So this is about knitting and crochet. And yeah, it's been a while that I want to go back for drawing. I used to draw for years and I really loved it and enjoyed it. And it's, I don't know, for years I didn't touch any drawing, just sketching from time to time, you know, something very spontaneous. But I really wanted to go back to drawing, and so I don't know when I decided I will purchase myself a new sketchbook and some pens and papers, and I will maybe start and try play with flower sketching. So when we booked our vacation to Greece, I said, okay, this is my opportunity. I will take it with me to Greece. It's gonna be a very slow, laid-back vacation. I will take my sketchbook with me to Greece and give it a go. So I took my sketchbook with me and I took this little pouch. I started to sketch. I felt like very inspired. I was looking on YouTube, watching a few video tutorials, and I was very inspired by Carla Jodoin. I don't know how to say her name. I will leave it here on the screen. But I watched a few of her YouTube tutorials and I started to sketch, and I was completely hooked. And I spent quite some time with my sketchbook trying to draw flowers together with some YouTube tutorials and a very fine pen, and a few of them are sketched with first with a pencil and then drawing, you know, lightly with a pencil, just showing the general layout, and then drawing on top of it with details with a very fine pen. So yeah, I had quite a lot of fun trying to go back to flower drawings. If you are interested in sketching some flowers, I really recommend that you check out Carla's YouTube. I will leave a link to her YouTube channel down below in the description box in case you want to know her. So yeah, I was really enjoying drawing flowers during our vacation. I didn't get back to it when we came back home, unfortunately. But I do plan to spend some more time with my drawing, my flower drawing, and I really, really want to get this sketchbook drawing back in my life. It brings me a lot of joy, and I feel like my hands are itching for it, and I'm very, very inspired to draw again. Yeah. Next on my list is I actually started to read books in English lately, which is very, very exciting for me. And I owe a big thank you to my friend Cherie from Oli and Bella. We were like chatting. She's from the UK. She lives in the UK. And while we were traveling in the UK, I was chatting with her, and I told her that when I travel, I really, really love to go into bookshops. And bookshops in the UK, I think they are the best. I correct me if I'm wrong, but there is nothing like bookshops in the UK. And I really, really enjoy going into bookshops. And I told Cherie, in one of our chats, I told her, you know what, it is very, very frustrating for me to go in and out of those beautiful shops empty-handed. And because I'm trying not to purchase so many things to bring back with me at home, because I'm trying not to stuff my life with extra stuff, I'm not purchasing any design books, and I'm trying to keep myself limited with notebooks and but I said, do you have any recommendation what I can read here? I brought a book with me which I'm not very hooked. I'm not like feeling too much for it, so maybe you can recommend something, but take into consideration I don't read in English. My English is very basic. And she was so nice. She had a few recommendations, but she said, I think you should read The Alchemist. And I remember I read The Alchemist in Hebrew many, many years ago, but I couldn't really remember more than the general idea of it. And I said, let's give it a shot. When I next came across a bookshop, we went inside and I asked the lady. She said, yeah, we have it here. I took a look.
Thank you. Oh, here we go.
Thank you. Yeah, so all of these books, I'm going to share with you all of the books that I read and am reading now. But let's start with this first one, because this is the main story. And she showed me this book and I said, okay, it's not too big. As you can see, I'm not sure how many pages, but 100 and something and 60. And Cherie told me, it's not in a very complicated English, and I think you will manage. She said, your English is perfect, but she's sweet. Cherie, you are a sweetheart. I started to read this book. I couldn't take it down, and I don't know, it was a magic. Cherie, you was so precise, like you had it just right, because it was such a good read for this part of our vacation. It was on the second part, the kids were with us, and I don't know, I felt like I told my kids and I told Eyal, the story is beautiful, it's beautifully written, it's a beautiful story for one to read. It's an important book. If you didn't read it, you have to read it, you must read it. But I think the most exciting thing for me is that I managed with the English. And I didn't at all use dictionary or Google Translate, or maybe from time to time I asked Eyal, what is this word or another, because Eyal's English is perfect. But overall, I was like swimming in it. And I was so excited that it kept me going. And and then you pass page 50 or 60 and you are into the story, into the narrative, into the energy of the story, and you can't leave it. And I just read it so like very, very quickly. And yeah, And before I go to the other book, for each book I wrote myself a few words that I want to say about the book, but because my English is not very fluent, I thought it will be nice if I will write a few words and read to you. The Alchemist is a story about a young man's journey to find his treasure in life, but as he travels, he slowly discovers that the real treasure is much deeper than gold. It's a book about following your heart, listening to the signs around you, and trusting your own path. It's written in gentle, meaningful way, stays with you long after you finish reading it, and I'm completely sure I will read it again. Cherie said also she read it a few times and she's going to read it again. So this was the first book that got me into reading in English, thanks to my friend Cherie from Oli and Bella. And then we came to London. Our Airbnb apartment was a lovely cottage in a very lovely street in Chelsea. And a few minutes from our apartment was I don't know the name of the shop, but it's a very known bookshops chain in UK. And so I wrote to Cherie, I'm just about to finish The Alchemist. What will I read next? And now I want also to take a book with me. Listen, I manage with the English. I want to keep this momentum. 5 minutes later, I got a list from her with 7 recommendations for books and also for books that are part of a series. And she said, try to take one of these. And I went into the bookshop, asked the ladies there. The one that I wanted the most was sold out. But then eventually, after a long making decision, I decided to go out with the word When the Crowded Sing and take it with me home. I was really afraid that I made a mistake and I'm taking back with me a piece of something home that I will not read, I will not manage. And I do remember that a few years ago my mother-in-law gave it to me in Hebrew. I read a few first pages, and I said to myself, it is not for me. I will not stand it. But this time the element of reading in English was so dominant in the fact that I kept on reading, that the story and everything that was hard for me, or I don't know how to say things that I will not hurt it if you want to read it, but it keeps me reading. Once again, the English was good. I felt I can manage. So I continued, and before I could even know it, I took it with me to Greece, by the way. We had a lot of time, of resting time and doing nothing time, as I already told you. And before I could even know it, I was far passing halfway of the book, and I was completely hooked by the story. Completely hooked by the main character and the secondary characters, and by the narrative itself. I can tell you guys, I really, really enjoyed this book, and I was completely into it, couldn't leave it. And I think in Greece I was mostly reading because I took with me this book. So this was my second read, and I'm thinking, as I'm speaking to you, as I'm looking at the time passes for this podcast, I'm thinking if to continue speaking about it, but I have so many things to tell you about this book. But let me just read to you what I thought about this book. It's a beautifully written story about a girl growing up and becoming a woman, while the nature surrounding her becomes her family, her school, and a big part of who she is. The book is both heartbreaking and beautiful, with stunning description of the wild marshland and a deep sense of loneliness and strength. I really enjoyed it, and I really strongly recommend. I can just tell you that there are a few things that are really good written, you know, that critics that were written about this book in the newspaper or whatever, but one thing is like saying it all. It's painfully beautiful. This is really sum it all up very precisely. So, Where the Crowded Sing by Delia Owens. Yeah. And yeah. So this is, and the reason I have the book in Hebrew, I asked my mother-in-law if she could get me the one she has in Hebrew, because the book ends with a song, a short song, and I just wanted to make sure that I got all the details correctly. So I wanted to read the song in Hebrew, and I can tell you for sure I am going to read this song over and over again, just to get into the moment that she is describing something so crucial in the narrative that I want to make sure I got it, really got it. And yeah, and this book made me believe that I need to start make notes in my book. And I discovered that there are a lot of ways that you can check it out on YouTube, how to make your own notes in a book, so you can go back to sentences that moved you, or to places in the book that felt special for you. So this book was the one that I felt I need to start making it. And then on Greece, while we were on our last day in the villa by the beach, I finished this book, and I can't tell you the emptiness I felt. I was completely like crushed. I didn't want this book to end. I didn't want to finish it, but on the other hand, I just wanted to swallow it. And I said, what will I do with myself now? How lucky I am that I have crochet hooks and some scraps to knit flowers and to draw flowers. So I spent some time, more time with my crochet flowers, chamomile and sage flowers. But when we came to Athens, we spent 2 days in Athens before coming back home. Maya said, don't worry, we will come across a bookshop, and almost every bookshop has a section in English. Let's give it a try. We didn't come across any bookshop in Athens. I don't know, we couldn't see any bookshop. But on the first evening, we saw like a book booth. You know, when they have like inside the streets, I don't know how to say it in English, but the wheels, the booths that stand on wheels. And sorry that I don't know how to say it, but I will describe it. It's a booth that stands on wheels in a very pedestrian street. No cars are allowed. We passed through a book one, and I asked the guy, do you have English books? And he said, yes, this side is all English written. Which book would you like to have? And I took out Cherie's list, and he said, I'm sorry, I don't have any of these books of this list. But because I was so interested in books, of course, Instagram algorithm started offer me books in my feed. Thank you, the god of algorithm, because my feed was so boring lately. Thank you, the god of algorithm. I got so many book lovers in my feed, book recommendations, and somehow I came across this book in too many of the shorts that I saw on YouTube, on Instagram, Reels, and he had this book in his booth. So now I'm reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, which I recently learned she's a very loved author, a writer. For this book, I have to say, the English is not as easy for me as with the recent two books that I shared with you. It's more like a very up-to-date English with a lot of sharp humor, and with this book I feel a little bit different. At first I thought I will not make it through the book because it's too cool for me, and the language is too fast and too cool and too like some, you know, there is a few scenes in New York City, and I felt it's not for me, but eventually, I don't know, something got me hooked and I kept on reading it. I will not leave it. Now I got connected, and with this book I need more the Google Translate. So it's not like I managed with these books in terms of my English. So using the Google Translate slows down the reading, but not in a way that I don't want to continue. It doesn't disturb me. The fact is that I'm still reading. I'm way, I think I'm a little bit past the halfway. And yeah, about this book, what I wrote to you. I wasn't sure about the rhythm of the dialogues, the voice felt a bit too cool for me, maybe with less emotional depth. I was wrong. But eventually I got into it, and now, you see, I made notes for these episodes. I wanted it to be short. It will not be short. This episode will not be short. So, it's a story about two people who seem very different, a book editor and a literary agent who end up spending a summer in a small town discovering things about themselves, about love, and about how stories we read connect to real life. So yeah, this is what I'm reading now, and thanks to you who asked about, can you share what you read and share what you thought about the books you read? Thanks to you, I did it. I was very happy you said. I told Eyal, I'm so happy people are asking for it because I want to share my excitement about starting to read books in English. I'm very, very excited about that. Yeah. And guys, before I leave you, I want to update you with something small but important. And recently I added a small super thanks button on my YouTube channel, which you can find down below under this picture of me speaking too much. And this thanks button is for me to I also wrote a little note because I didn't feel like I know how to say it in a gentle way, but I'm slowly saving up for a better camera. My camera that I used for vlogging is the one that you see that I use now, is not serving me good enough while it goes to taking footage in the kitchen, you know, making vlogs while involved with cooking. So I find myself very often use my iPhone while cooking because I find it gives me better results than my vlogging camera, which is a very simple vlogging camera, which I love. It's light, it's very easy to travel with, but it doesn't serve me well for my vlogging content. So this thanks button, if you don't know what it is, gives you the opportunity to support my channel, and I'm very thankful for you if you choose to do that. I'm very thankful for you if you choose not to do that. I'm very thankful for you just for being here. But if you want to be a part, and if you would like to support that upgrade that I feel I need for my channel, I will be so grateful for you. But mostly I'm just very happy to have you here watching my vlogs, and most of all leaving me comments and being such a lovely community here on my channel. So yeah, I think this is it. My sourdough starter is calling me out there. I can hear one of the boys is already awake. So I'll go out. I just want to thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'd love to hear if you have more book recommendations for me. But if you read one of these books, what did you think about them? Yeah, I would love to have a conversation in the comments about what you're reading, or maybe what you are busy making. And if you also had these times that you felt like you want more to draw or to embroider more than to crochet and knit, and yeah. And hopefully by the next time I meet you, maybe for a vlog, the ceasefire is taking place and all the hostages are here with us, got a huge hug from their loved ones, got taken care of. Let's keep our finger crossed that this all will happen and that peace will find its way here to our area. Yeah, thank you again guys for spending some time with me, listening to me rambling. I hope to see you soon on the next one. Bye!